What is up, ladies and gentlemen? The Avengers are here at the final whistle on a week that needs no introduction. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is the third Saturday in October. It is time to take on that team that if you're talking text in your phone to your friends and say, hey, we're playing this team, it types in balls because that's what they are, balls. Guys, it's Tennessee, Alabama week, and it's time to light it up with the rowdiest bunch of Bama fans that I know and do a show with, the Avengers. And I'm going to start it off with the man with the moves, all the recruiting insight, the man that kept Chris James in line for God knows how long in his life, the one, the only, Dan James. How are you doing, sir?
Happy Tuesday, man. This Tennessee hate week. I hate them. They some snitches.
They low down. They dirty. Look, Van proven. Look, SEC refs, let me tell you something. When you have reached a new level, when it's so low that the man below Dan, who is wearing crimson, has to take up for your shitty ineptitude in a game coached by Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers.
Oh, no. This is a real timeout. I would not ever take up for them assholes.
No, so we're not taking up.
Don't even accuse me of something like that. Kirby was clearly calling it. He wasn't calling a timeout. That's how he claps, man. They clap different in Athens. It's all good, brother.
Is that what you're telling me, Van?
Yes, absolutely, man.
Well, Van, is that what y'all been doing on the job here the last day at work, working on your clapping?
Man, yeah. In fact, I think somebody had a call out the other day. They were clapping like this at church and sprained their wrist, but, it happens. It was clearly clapping.
Well, clapping or not, a man who needs no introduction on this week. He is one of the biggest Vol fans in the country.
Oh, my goodness.
That's why I'm in witness protection for all the other shows to this point. I had to go and hide from Lou. I'm now in that transient when you're not in witness protection, but you're in the hotel that you can't tell people where you're at. It's because I've ticked off Lou 4 straight weeks. And I'm guaranteed to do it on a week where Bama takes on those dirty-ass, pumpkin-wearing, Workers Truck Convention Stadium Tennessee Volunteers. Lou Shine, how you doing this week, buddy?
There's a lot of things in the world that aren't good. Famine is not good. Children starving is not good. College coaches getting fired halfway through the season is not good. But do you know something that's worse, Petty?
What's worse?
Something that's worse than just everything on the planet is knowing that we have to face a school so putrid it just reflects like a Komodo dragon's regurgitation into some sort of a uniform has to roll into our beautiful stadium on Saturday. I Hate Tennessee should be the title of this week's show. I should have titled it that because if you don't hate Tennessee, then you need to get off the show because we hate Tennessee here. And we're going to talk about it tonight, Petty.
We are going to talk about it. Yes, sir. Look, man, and I'm going to be real. I came in a time where I've been to more third Saturdays than I have been Iron Bowls. That game to me this game is bigger to me than the Iron Bowl. I have the shirt still in my drawer that says Fat Phil loves to squeal because that dirty ass snake. I grew up in the era of hating Phil, so I'm with you tonight, Lou. We're going to get on some Tennessee hate.
Look, let's give Tennessee some credit for one thing. I heard in Knoxville they changed the legal drinking age to 35 so they could keep it out of the high schools. All right, so congratulations to them for that. Other than that, F them.
Bring it, Van. Bring it all night. And, guys, we're going to be bringing it all night. We got a full show. We're going to hit that elephant in the room. Should freshmen start moving into starting roles with the way they're performing on the field? We're looking at you lots here, Brooks, and our man in the secondary who doesn't tackle water coolers. Then we're going to close the book on Mizzou like Alabama did last week with an interception from that same Dijon Lee that I was referencing in the secondary. Then we're going, hey guys, let's turn the page. It's time to scout those balls. I mean balls. I ought to say balls. What my phone thinks I say every time I say it, which isn't very much. And man, we're going to talk about that secondary. Are changes needed? Because let's be real, this is their toughest test to date. Joey Aguilar coming in. These receivers are hot right now. There's 2 yards separating Joey and Ty. in the total passing yards in the SEC. So we're going to talk about the secondary, what they need to do this week to keep doing what they've been doing. Look, it's been one of the top secondaries in the country and shut down this volunteer offense. Before we do that, let's give a little love to the people to keep the lights on here at the Final Whistle. And that's one title towel at whitwillsports.com. If you ever needed a title towel to wave in some dirty orange Vols face, now is the time. The tide is rising. The title towel's rising, and it's time to rise all over those Vols face. So go to whitwillsports.com today. Tell them the promo code WHISTLE and get 20% off at the register and have it in time in hand to be in Bryant-Denny for this beautiful third Saturday when we take it to the Vols' ass. whitwillsports.com. Get it today. With that said, guys, let's get it going, man. We got a big week. Let's talk about it. Elephant in the room, Lou. These freshmen keep making plays, man. Lots of your books. Outside of one drop, I can go and remember the one bad play can make because that's it. Outside of that, the kid's just making catches. Since that time, I don't think he's had another one. But just big catch after big catch. Man, Dijon Lee, all we heard, this kid was like the Predator out there playing cornerback. He makes the play to cap the game against Mizzou. And, I mean, there's more. Carroll. It's time to see some Michael Carroll. Is it time for these guys to start? Let's talk about it. Dan, you've been sitting up there silent, just looking pretty, making us all look worse. It's time to talk, sir. Is it time to see some of these freshmen that you have followed all the way through recruiting that are now showing it on the field to get their stripes in the starting lineup?
Yes, definitely. You know, it's good. You know, but the best developer me and Lou talked about earlier is reps. So you want to get guys reps during the year. You know, so we don't run into a situation like we did in the national championship game where we had to put freshmen in at crucial times. But you know, beyond that, we're talking about should freshmen be started. Okay, you look at the situation now. I'm gonna take the Dijon Lee situation. You know, you got a guy that's a senior playing ahead of him that's making mental errors. You know, lots of gas we seeing from DeMonte Jackson. You know, you think about the play where he's looking in the backfield against Georgia. You know, you think about him. You know, the touchdown pass this past week. You know, it's a lot of, you know, the angles he was taking against the run. So he's becoming a liability because of his brain farts that he's having. You know, stuff that, you know, you're willing to accept and grow with from a younger player. But for a senior, you know, you have to question it. You know, so yeah, it's time. It's time to make that move in the secondary. You know, but and as far as the right tackle, I'm gonna talk about that. You just got a guy that's clearly better. You know, Michael Carroll is clearly better. You know, it's nothing against Formby. You know, we're gonna need Formby. You know, Formby is gonna be a variable part of the offensive line. He hasn't been playing as horrible as we make it seem, but it's just the fact that he has a freshman behind him that is significantly better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I can go beyond that. You know, London Simmons, the guy has been making plays. You know, we talked about it in the preseason. Can we get an interior pass rush? This is a guy that can do it. You know, but he has some guys that's playing very well in front of him. So, you know, that's a slightly different situation. Latsir Brooks, you know, he has guys that's playing well ahead of him, you know. So, but clearly, if I had to put one, it'd definitely be, you know, Dijon Lee. He'd be the guy that I say definitely needs to be started.
No, and I'm with you, Dan, and I think you kind of laid that out pretty well. As Latsir has played, he's probably the least needed at this point because there are other receivers getting it done with Horton, Bernard. But hell, again, I think they're working him appropriately is what I'm saying. I mean, he's getting the reps he needs, but he's making plays when he gets those reps too. Do you feel the same? I mean, Van, I know you're not one to just give flowers easily. You got to kind of earn that shit. And I know you come from that hard school of thought with Alabama. And hey, man, it's good that you're making these plays, but let's pull the reins back a little bit. Or do you think it's time to take the reins off and let these kids eat?
Oh, it's time to let them eat, man. When we've needed these freshmen to step up in the biggest moments so far this year, they've done exactly that. So I've already got Carroll in my mind. He's already starting. Dejon Lee's definitely starting, especially after, Jackson was like jumping into a portal, going to another dimension. So, I'm kind of like, I'm going with Dan on this. I need some more guys. I'd like to see Steve M get some more work. Inside backers don't watch themselves. We got Duke Johnson and Luke Metz sitting out there, man. Abdul Sanders. I mean, let's get Chuck McDonald some work at cornerback. Ivan Taylor at safety. I think we got a freshman punter. I'm willing to try it. I ain't been super in love with what the punter's doing. So, I mean, if you're not getting the job done, absolutely. Let's put somebody in there that's hungry and willing to do it. So, yeah, man. Start them.
Love it. Well, Lou, I know you are excited of what you've seen, because I don't know anybody that was more excited about Latsier Brooks than you, because I was getting pictures about this kid maybe 2 years ago. I know you're excited what you've seen. Is it time to see more of it?
I would say they're bringing Latsier Brooks along as they should. I did not have him down in my list of guys that I thought should be a permanent starter. He was in my list of guys that needed more snaps with London Simmons due to our depth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the other hand, obviously you guys know how I feel about Michael Carroll. That should be a no-brainer. I also feel that even though that Jam is doing Jam type of things, I feel that Kevin Riley has earned more snaps than he's been getting in the games. And as everybody forgets, he is a redshirt freshman. So Kevin Riley, I'm going to pump his name big time, because that dude has been our unsung hero in some key crucial moments. And he has probably some of the best set of hands on our team as far as being making catches in contact. That dude's got some of the stickiest hands next to Lottie out there. So my guy's Kevin Riley. I mean, I don't understand why everybody ain't pumping more him. That dude is on it right now, as far as I'm concerned. And with Jam being out, I mean, it's going to be his show now. It's going to be interesting to see who else steps up in that situation. But Dejon Lee, he obviously needs to be out there. The kid almost had 2 interceptions, if not for him just being that freaky of an athlete and not being able to bring that first one down, which was amazing. He was even able to read the quarterback's eyes as a true freshman to even be able to make that play. And he's physical in the run game. That is something that we have been harping for, that we want our corners to do. Our safeties, yes, we know they're physical, but can our corners come up and set the edge? And he was able to do that on Saturday against the number 1 running back in the nation. So, dude to me needs to start. Same with Michael Carroll.
Talking about starting freshmen, does that mean, are we in an era? This, I don't know, just made me think about it. Listen to you guys talk, and we'll wrap a bow on this conversation about freshmen being permanent starters. But I think it's really pertinent when you're talking about Alabama, because the quote came from the guy that coached Alabama. I remember Bear was famous, like, for every freshman you start, you're going to have a loss on the schedule. Is that, we used to hold Bear's statements to our heart, like, well, that's almost like the football Bible. Is that era done because of the way football's changed, where you can have freshmen don't hurt you in that way anymore?
That's been done. Because, I mean, look how long Saban's been. Saban started freshman, and it didn't ever hurt. I mean,
I think you're right. I hadn't really even asked the question, but I remember I always used to hear that Bear statement always rang in my ears. For every freshman you start, you got a loss on the schedule. Y'all remember that. But no, I think
pretty sure Mark Cooper was pretty good.
Yeah. No, like you said, Saban kind of killed that theory, and I think even more so now. I think everybody's doing it. Anything more?
No,
Yeah, go ahead, Luke.
he started 2 freshman linebackers. So, there's not he neutralized that. That
freshman wide receiver. Yeah, he started freshman all of it. Yeah, especially out of the gate when he was changing over the team. Anything else on freshmen as permanent starters, fellas, before we move on and close the book on those Missouri Tigers?
Well, I like what Lou said about Riley. And I think a guy like him and A.K. Deere could be more impactful against Tennessee because they've struggled against shifty, smaller, agile running backs this year when they played against them. It's not been the power backs that they've struggled. It's been the smaller, faster guys. And I think both of those guys could give them fits. So I think you'll see a healthy dose of both, especially with Jam being out. Mm-hmm. I think you'll see more of both of them.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, but that's gonna heavy depend on if A.K. Deere can pass protect, because they're going to bring a pass rush. Now a lot of their. We don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that just yet.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far into it, but I'll say this. I thought Hill came in and looked better in pass protection, so I'm curious to see what A.K. Deere, if he's improved since we've last saw him as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen a significant jump from Hill against Missouri. He came in, was needed, and did pretty well.
And these young guys, they are getting the practice reps. You can get better as the season goes along. That's not outside of the realm. But look, a lot of this of what we're talking about is because this game last week against Mizzou, knocked Jam out of the game. We had guys. Let's be real, man. That was a physical one up there. This has been 3 weeks. Bama's been running the gauntlet, man. You go up to Athens and you play a gritty-ass Vanderbilt team at home. Then you go back to Mizzou that was a physical damn football game. But at the end of the day, Tide's won them all. And that's the thing. I feel like this Alabama team just keeps getting better. What did Bama do at Mizzou, guys? What did y'all see, not see, things you liked, didn't like, to put a cap on this Mizzou victory, which the main thing is 1-0 and getting to 10, and you did that. But, there's always things to pick apart, things you like, you didn't like. Luke, you got your finger up. I'll let you take the floor on this one, bud.
Yeah, I want to highlight some main things here. Bama held the number 3 ranked rushing attack in the nation to 163 yards. They came in averaging 292. Ahmad Hardy, the number 1 running back in the nation, came in with 730 yards, averaging 7.1 yards per carry, had 52 yards on 12 carries. We also held one of the top offenses in the nation in yards average per game, 547. We held them to 325 yards. And most importantly, the stat that I'm going to say right here is why we won this damn football game. We held them to 1 for 11 on 3rd freaking down.
Mm-hmm.
That one right there, folks.
We
won. We absolutely obliterated the battle on 3rd down. Getting off the field against a team like that with a running back that leads the team, that leads the nation in forced missed tackles, bouncing off and doing his thing, we held them. That's why we won the football game. I mean, you heard Ryan Grubb. We missed some things on offense, but as far as defensively, Bama brought the bell. Now, offensively, we did the exact same thing that we wanted to do to them and just turn the script. They were only averaging 62 yards a game on the ground. We went in and busted them for $125. They were giving up under 200 yards. Ty threw for 200 and 3 touchdowns. We showed this defense that was pretty much sacking everybody and holding everybody, even though, some of their competition wasn't up to what we were, that showed the nation that Alabama's defense can answer the bell when it comes to stopping the run, because statistically, this guy was the best. And everyone's like, oh, Bama's D ain't going to be able to stop the run. Well, we did in a big way. So as far as I'm concerned, we showed the Mizzou Tigers that you might want to slow your roll when you're talking about the Crimson Tide this year, especially under DeBoer.
Hey Lou, do you have the number? You know, we talked about Amar Hardy. How many yards do you have? How many yards he had after halftime?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
And look at it, and that's what. But you're right, Lou. That's what I mean. Bama imposed their will, and the time of possession forced Hardy off the field, and so every time they got on the field, he didn't have a chance for it. They were having to throw they were so the
we only had 12 carries.
Offense, how many?
12.
Yeah.
I mean, he was taken off the field, so a lot of the defense did their job, but the offense executed perfectly to keep his ass on the sideline. And so when Missouri got on, the pressure was on them to score every time they touched the football with the limited possessions. I mean, look, a beautiful game plan that was executed perfectly in that regard. You nailed that, Lou. I mean, shutting down that kid. And Lou, man, this is you kind of gave an insight to the Tennessee that if you read between the lines of what you said there before I turn it over to Van, you said Bama did something to Mizzou that flipped the script on their entire season. They're the number one rushing, number this. Everybody's like yada yada, but Bama held them to well below that. Well, they haven't faced the Bama defense yet. Well, what do we just say about Tennessee? They're averaging 38 points a game, number one offense in the SEC. Ain't faced the Bama defense yet. Van, put a lock on this Mizzou. What did you say? I know you got your notes for me.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Let's hear it.
All right, man. I mean, what a game. You know, if you love theatrics, it was a good one for you because, you know, we had two top 15 teams. One was undefeated. The other, Alabama, trying to prove themselves after a sloppy first game. And it made, you know, statistically, top running back in the country versus possibly the best quarterback in the country. The battle of SEC unbeatens, duking it out for 4 quarters, and we seen who won. So, as far as my game notes, I wrote down Damani Jackson should not be a starter. 3 straight games of blown coverage, bad angles, poor tackling, and sorry run fits are proof enough. We need DeJohn Lee all the time. Sab had his moments, but I'd sooner take my chances with an underclassman. Sending him on a blitz is hilarious. He rubs pads. He doesn't bring the fun. The rotating of O-linemen is setting us back at this point. I understood this at first, and I'm all for building depth, but Formby is too inconsistent. Carroll and Sanders and Roberts are the better options. If we don't block better than this for a tie against Tennessee, he will be in the medical tent more than he will be on the field. Let's start a GoFundMe to give some NIL money towards a kicker and punter next year. These two ain't it. Second quarter, we look sloppy, and we're going to have to tighten up a little bit. Defense is doing a great job on third downs. Keeping Missouri out of short yardage situations is throwing them off balance and limiting the effect Hardy can have on this game. Fast forward, you get to the throw and catch, Simpson to Brooks. And I put Coach DeBoer and staff must have to tote their nuts around in wheelbarrows. I mean, what a call, man. Also, what was Brooks's rating coming out of high school? Wasn't he like a 4-star on some things, 3-star with others? Yeah. These recruiting analysts did the kid dirty, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you got a freshman that's going out making big plays against some of the SEC's best defenders. So I guess he didn't go to the right camps to bump those numbers or make that look prettier or something, because he's clearly a 5-star in my book.
Well, and it shows how dumb all these damn recruiting services are.
Absolutely.
Right? Lou was telling me I would take this kid over any 5-star that's up there right now. I don't care what their rating are. So, again, the services are dumb. Sorry.
I'm gonna tell you right now before I get back to my notes. You want to hear something about upcoming recruits, man? Just talk with Lou and Dan. They'll tell you all you need to know. They hadn't steered me wrong yet. These guys know ball. I put the crispy package, aka Let Proctor Rumble, is the most talked about topic in college football right now. If he scores a touchdown, I hope he wins the Dope Campbell Award. Holy time of possession. If Alabama continues to do this, we can hang in there with any team in the country. The best defense is our offense's ability to drag out a drive. Alabama's defense looks like a different unit when certain freshmen get on the field. We've been saying this for a few weeks, and we're past the point of it being a coincidence. And my last note here is, what is a targeting call exactly? I need someone, more specifically a referee, to break down what the fuck it actually is. The jam hit was debatable, sure, but Meadows was absolutely defenseless. I know everybody's favorite former Bachelor contestant, Jesse Palmer, said Meadows made a football move and therefore was defenseless. But he was knocked out before he had a chance to make any moves, so he was full of shit, and so was the call. I'm not blaming the referees. I'm blaming whoever came up with this rule. Mm-hmm. If the idea is to protect players from head injuries, then why aren't we protecting them? Because both players in question received head injuries. And that was my last note on that. And I got a real problem with how this is getting called. So looking forward to hearing what Dan said. But that was my notes for this game.
No, I love your little note section on this now. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Targeting call, the subjectiveness of it is utter bullshit, because the thing is, you can watch a replay as a rational human and a football fan of 40 years. And look, we can see a flag thrown on the field, where it's thrown, and pretty much, any half-ass football fan say, well, that's holding, or that's a defensive whatever. We've watched this game our whole lives, and we'll, like you just said, watch the replay, and we're like, well, based off the rules y'all told us, that's targeting. And then all of a sudden, no targeting. Like, well, what the hell? And you've got announcers who have played the game going on both sides of it that make it look like a fool. It's the subjective enough. It's horseshit. But what's not horseshit is Dan James' take. Final take on Alabama's beatdown of those Missouri Tigers.
Listen, y'all. This game, the line scared me. This is a game that Alabama was supposed to lose.
It was trap. It was bait.
It was. You catch a team, they were hitting their stride. You know what I'm saying? They Missouri were hitting their stride. And they were this was a game they needed. They were coming off of a bye week, and they had this game circled. It was set up to be a loss for Bama. Going on the road, 11 a.m. kickoff time. So it was very unfavorable, conditions for Alabama. So I chalk it up as a very good. This is going to be one of the better wins of Coach DeBoer's career.
No, it's a great win.
And
that was a tough football game, man.
Yeah, it was.
Give Missouri credit for that shit.
And I know Lou stated it and y'all stated it, but the whole of them 1 for 11 on third down. Man, that was no small feat, and we came away with some injuries, you hate that, but man, that was a tough, hard fought victory, one that I was glad to see while I was at work. But I wasn't very productive Saturday, but man, it was a hard fought game, and I'm very proud of this team and the character and the resilience that they showed to go into Columbia, Missouri, and come out with the victory in the manner that they did. So we're gonna move on for that, to put a bow on it. But man, tough, hard fought victory, and we got to do something about these mental errors that we're seeing from one. I don't want to keep harping on and calling out a player, but man, you're a senior now. It's time to be over this. So it is what it is. But Dejon Lee definitely needs to be playing more.
He's making us stop talking about our crappy inside linebacker play. That's how bad he's playing.
Yeah, he's man. Like I said, some of these freshmen have been as advertised. But yeah, like you said, the final bow, the time of possession, that's the second week in a row. Everybody was really hard on Womack. Let's give him his flowers now. That defense has been lights out for 2 second halves in a row. I thought it was a well-executed game plan to 3 games. I'm sorry, shit. Yeah, go back to Georgia. God, 3. That's 3 in a row where the defensive game plan coming out of halftime has completely changed the ball game. And at a time where Bama's offense kind of bogged down in second half, hadn't mattered because the defense has been nails. Time of possession, again, huge. Again, Drinkwitz is a hell of a coach. That Missouri team put up a fight and had a hell of a running game. And Bama was the better team. They manned up. And in this new world of the SEC, which is wars week in and week out, when you've played 2 really emotional games and you've got the third Saturday, like Dan said, this was Trap City. Bama didn't cover the spread, but that shit don't matter. That only matters to the people that are putting money on it. What matters to the real people that matter is the scoreboard. And the scoreboard showed Bama winning in a game that – and that's a character-building game. You go on the road in the SEC at early – everything's going against you, and you still pull out the win. That's what good football teams do, and it's going to go a long way. Again, 1-0, 10-0, that's all that matters. And let's get to 1-0 this week with those dirty-ass Vols coming to town. So, man, let's talk about them. We know Joey Aguilar's leading the SEC in passing, only about 2 yards now, because Ty Simpson has been on freaking rocket pace here the last few weeks. But, man, they're Brazel, one of the leading receivers in the SEC. I think they've got 3 guys above 400 yards receiving. They've got a 2 or 3-headed monster at running back. Defense is leading the nation in sacks. They're also getting burned on that back end. But I'm going to shut up and let the guys that really can talk X's and O's talk some X's and O's. Who wants to start out? I'm gonna let people raise hands on this. We're gonna do it like class. Dan, you want to start this out? Give what you've seen from Tennessee so far.
Yeah, this is a team you want to get off the field on third down. You know, like you said, they got a 3-headed monster running back. You know, they got 3 receivers over 400 yards. They got a very serviceable tight end that's very, Bama fans are very familiar with, Miles Kitselman. They got a quarterback that can, take chunk plays, so we have to be disciplined. We can't have the mental lapses that we had in the secondary this week. So, but we got to find a way, with Jam being out, to be able to stay ahead of the chain, stay on schedule. And this is another challenge for Ty. We got to keep him clean. This is a game that Ty's going to have to go and win for us again. We give the ball to Ty, say, Ty, save us, So this is the type of game it's going to be. But I'm really liking Bama here. I like the matchup. I like our secondary, versus their receivers, what they have. They're going to try to, play up tempo, try to take advantage. So we're gonna need for the crowd to be involved, and especially the student section. We're gonna this, me doing my best Nick Saban impression. Hey, we're gonna need the students to be involved, So I have some reservations, but I think this is gonna be, a good challenge for us. And I think this team has the mentality to brush off the Missouri win because it's Tennessee week. I think they understand that, and the players understand that, and so it's time for our defense to eat, and we're going to need another. How about I like saying there's another Kane Womack masterpiece.
You have it. I think you're right. We are definitely going to need a Kane Womack masterpiece. And I tell you what, if he changes the tenor of what Tennessee's been doing offensively, it really is time to say, all right, we can shut up. Let this Kane guy do what he does, because he's been getting it done. Van, what you saying, man?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say over here at the Final Whistle Network, I feel like I can safely say we all hate Tennessee about as much as we hate anything.
Yeah, it's just
their colors suck. Their fan base is willing to throw anything into the river but themselves. Their marriages are a lot like a tornado because someone is losing a trailer when it's over. Legend has it you could spot a married Tennessee man because there will be tobacco spit running down both truck doors. So what I'm trying to say is win, lose, or draw, I hate Tennessee at least second most of all. Getting past the shit talk, look, Tennessee's a damn good football team. I don't like them, but they're well coached. They got top shelf players, and they're well rounded. And you have to pick your poison against them because they do a lot of things well. You're going to see a lot of 2x2, 3x1 formation. They're going to try to spread us out, lighten the box up so they can run the ball. Because that veer and shoot offense is dangerous, and they don't have to dominate time of possession to win because they're quick tempo. They get a lot of plays off explosive pass plays and little quick inside runs, and it's been hard for anybody to defend them this year. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me to see them come out and score on the first drive, come out and get a quick. That's been their wheelhouse all year because I think they're fifth in the country in plays of 20 or more yards, so they're definitely explosive. They've got Chris Brazzell, as you mentioned earlier, Joey Aguilar, and Brazzell's a freak, man. He's like 6'5", so that's looking like a DeJohn Lee coverage to me. Multiple good running backs. Their O-line's been inconsistent, but they're good enough. You get to the other side of the ball defensively, they've been flat-ass terrible at times against the pass, and their scoring defense is ranked around 104th, I believe. But they'll get to your quarterback. You brought that up a couple times, Petty. 24 sacks through 6 games, it stands out. Not having Jam Miller, really makes that a concern. Because we've seen other guys struggle at times in pass pro when they've come in at running back when Jam was injured earlier in the season. Now, Daniel Hill came in and looked pretty good against Missouri, and I'm hoping we can continue that. Riley's done some good things. So that's something to watch for. But that being said, Tennessee has not been good against more agile backs. And I mentioned this earlier about Riley. I wouldn't be surprised to see A.K. Deere sprinkled in there some. Because I've been hearing some strong praise about him coming out of practice. So he's going to show back up soon. I expect to see a lot of man coverage from their defense, and our wide receivers should eat if we can keep Ty upright and keep his jersey clean. Also, if we get outside of like the 35-yard line, let anybody on the team kick the field goal other than who's kicking it. Past that, Tennessee's a good football team, but I see ways Alabama can beat them.
Oh, no doubt. And look, we talk about the defensive, but that they're a tale of two defenses. Yeah, they get a lot of sacks, but they give a lot of big plays. I mean, again, Mississippi State gashed them. Arkansas gashed them. Alabama's a better offense than both those teams.
Yep.
But on the flip side, Lou, and you can talk about this, go any other direction. I don't know if it's something you've noticed, but and I noticed that the offense inconsistent, but they've kept Aguilar upright. He's only been sacked 4 times this year. And that's still an issue where what have we gotten to the quarterback now? 9 times. How does this defense disrupt Aguilar, Lou, and get this ball offense off of its game?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to really process how you want me to compliment this.
Now, I'm not trying to. I want you to tell me how.
Because I can't.
I'm not asking for a compliment, Lou. I'm asking.
I'm not going to say they're a good football team. I'm not going to say I respect them. When I say I hate a team, I hate a team. I'll give you a take about them, but you're not going to hear anything positive from me. So, without further ado and boo-boo, here we go. They got the top scoring ranked offense in the nation, 7th ranked in passing. As we know, Joey Aguilar does his thing through the air with 1,600 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, but the dude has 5 interceptions. So even though that he has not been sacked that many times, he can be forced into making turnovers. That is something that people should be aware of. One thing that we have mentioned that Tennessee is great at is getting chunk plays. Their receivers are averaging 16.8, 13.9, and 16.6 yards per catch. So these guys are getting chunk plays. I think that's a great challenge for our DBs, especially our corners. This is going to be a game where our secondary is going to be able to flex multiple times because we got guys that can do multiple different things. Same thing with the rushing attack. They have a 3-headed monster. This is a different rushing attack than last week. I think this attack is more towards what Georgia likes to do. They're a little bit more to the point when it comes to what they're trying to do on the ground. These guys are trying to eat up they're trying to eat up space more as like the Georgia running backs as opposed to Ahmad Hardy's trying to get off Scatley. He wants to hit his tight end as much as possible in the red zone. Miles Kitselman, he's got good hands. He's averaging just over 10 yards per catch. This offense, it is based off of opportunity. They're very opportunistic when it comes to what they want to do. So if they feel like they have an advantage somewhere, they're going to keep taking shots at it. And I think that's one place where our defense is going to give them fits, because you're not going to find weaknesses in our defense multiple times throughout the game with the way Kane Womack likes to rotate his scheme. Now, on the flip side, I know everybody's worried about their pass rush, but their pass rush isn't like a Missouri pass rush. The bulk of their pass rush is coming from the interior. It's not coming from two amazing pass rushers on the outside. They have 3 senior defensive tackles who most of that pressure is coming from. So I like our advantage this week as far as when it comes to them having to deal with our center and 2 guards, because I'll take that battle any day of the week, especially when they don't have guys coming off that, in my opinion, to answer one of the questions in the chat, they would be the second best pass rushing tandem to Texas Tech's. So that passing rush we faced last week is probably the best we're going to face as far in the SEC, in my opinion, as far as production and aggressiveness. And as far as us running against them, I think that I agree with Van that we're going to need more of a little fleet of foot back where it comes to the power, because they do have big guys in the middle. Once our O linemen get their hands on them, it's going to be more difficult for them to get their hands on somebody that can squirt through a hole, whereas Jam is going to just pounce off people. It's going to be a little bit easier for them to get a hold of somebody bigger. So I think that our offense is going to give them fits with what Ryan Grubb likes to do with our motion. Their defense can be very caught out of position because they're disciplined, but they're overly aggressive. And I think in this game, they're going to come out kind of like Missouri did. And if they do, Ty's going to get them. And I think, in my opinion, their secondary is good, but they're handsy and they can be beat with good route running. I think that's why Georgia had struggled with them, because they don't have wide receivers that can actually run good routes. We have many receivers that can run good routes, and I think that's going to be the key to this game, is our wide receivers elite route running as compared to their DBs not being able to stick with us.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Lou. Man, I take all that in, and that's what I question at the end of the day. Does Tennessee have the defense to keep up with Bama? I know there's some gaudy stats, but there's some misnomers with it, like you kind of pointed out, Lou. And that's what I was wanting you to say. How is Bama attack, this? How do they attack this in a way that Tennessee really hadn't seen yet? And I know they played Georgia, but Bama went.
Oh, I want to add something too. I want to add something to just kind of a little explanation point. If anybody was watching the Georgia-Tennessee game, the defense that actually ended up slowing and eventually shutting Tennessee down was the exact same defense that Kane Womack actually runs on a daily basis. So the Swarm gives an offense like this issues because we're not getting set in what we're wanting to do. We're going off what's being showed to us. And they're the type of offense that's going to give them fits because they're not going to be used to that.
And speaking of giving them fits, and this all kind of plays into it, and we touched on it tonight with Dijon Lee and Damani Jackson and some changes. Look, that is the biggest. I think Bama has abilities that Tennessee hasn't faced yet. Bama's got, I think, better secondary than Georgia. Georgia's secondary is not what it was. So this is going to be a secondary that Tennessee hasn't faced yet. And Tennessee got to face that Georgia secondary in the friendly confines of Neyland Stadium, not Bryant-Denny. But with that said, that goes right into this from the Vols scouting report to what final changes did we need to see made to this secondary to shut down Aguilar come Saturday night? Dan?
I'm sorry. Wait, I'm looking at a text. Go ahead.
No, you good, man. We'll let Lou start it because Lou's already on a heater, kind of talking about this, and I mean we've kind of danced around a little bit throughout the night, but what needs to be on that field come Saturday night that's going to shut that Vol offense, that passing game down?
Okay. All right. To me, we're going to need coverage guys this week, more so than we're going to need run fitters. So, in my personal opinion, I did some different scheme-wise, but to me, I feel like Dijon Lee needs to be CB1 as far as if we're going coverage-wise. And then give me my CB2 is Cam Calhoun. My Husky slot corner will be Xavier Brown. And my Rover, because I know everyone wants to praise Keon Sabb, but the dude gets on my nerves with some of how he takes plays off and makes some business decision. I don't know if that's a personal thing, but give me Drake or Patrick in that position because that dude is an absolute animal. He's going to hit you. He's going to be aggressive. And that's the type of dude I want on my defense. And free safety, obviously, Bray Hubbard. Now, if we're going to go in more of a run stopping secondary, as far as basically the playmaking secondary, in my opinion, give me Dijon Lee, Xavier Brown as cornerbacks 1 and 2. Dre is my Husky. And then I want Xavier Mincy as my Rover, and I want Bray Hubbard as my free safety. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Xavier Mincy's range and his height on the back end and his physicality when he's playing football stands out to me more than anything Sabb has done. Yes, Sabb does have a pick. He's in the right spots, but he's not playing physical football on the back end. And that's something that teams, especially with an offensive attack with multiple wide receivers like we talked about, they got 4 wide receivers with all over 400 yards, and they're averaging 13-plus yards a catch. You need somebody that's going to be physical with these guys. That's how you stop them and slow them down. And Sabb, to me, just has not shown the fact that he really wants to be physical on this football field this season.
Dan, you were doing a lot of head nodding. You agree? You see it that same way, or you changed?
It was making me laugh because we wrote down the same things. Man, I agree 100%. Like, I'm not so much worried about the run fit in this game. Like, yes, they run the ball well with a collective of backs, but I think we're going to be okay. I can't have Jackson on my field this week. He gets burnt too easy. He takes bad angles. He's getting caught looking. He can't be on my field this week. So yeah, Dijon Lee is cornerback 1 for me, absolutely. My problem is, as much as I like Bray Hubbard, I've seen Bray Hubbard get caught out of position too. And now I'm not taking him out, but I would move him around a little bit. I would like to see Cam Calhoun get some snaps. I've got a lot of guys I want to see move. Drake Kirkpatrick's got to be on the field. He just brings a thump and an energy that's hard to replicate. DNA. You know, he plays like his daddy, and his daddy was a legend at Alabama. DNA. You know, long-time NFL player. I played against his team in high school. He was a grown man when we were still kids. I got a lot of respect for that family, and he looks like he's going to play just like his father. And so, you know, I think it's important to have Dre in on the field, more snaps. We've seen a lot more of him last week. I think we need to see even more of him this week. The physicality, the quickness, he doesn't hesitate. He seems to be a quick decision maker, and we need that right now. And so, you know, I think Lou mentioned it earlier in the show on a different subject. When the DBs are playing so bad against the run fit that we're not talking about the inside backers no more, that's a problem. So when we have Dijon Lee and some others on the field, it's kind of masking some of these situations as well. So, yeah, we definitely need to move some guys around. Lou picked these out beautifully. I wouldn't change a thing there other than maybe have Ivan Taylor somewhere on that field, because I like Ivan Taylor, man. He's getting more reps too, and I think they're starting to trust him a little bit. I'm trying to think exactly where I'd want to put him, but I like what he's doing. he swarms to the ball. You see him in on plays. So he's another guy I would have on that field somewhere.
Dan, a man that has watched a lot of Alabama secondary in his day, given his little brother did it. Do you agree with these two gentlemen, or would you have it see it any other way? Put a bow on this one for us, brother.
Yeah, the only difference I make, Dijon Lee, the Money Jackson, he's gonna have to come off the field. This game just doesn't. He scared me. The way he's been playing, and the way Tennessee plays, it kind of scares me. This game,
Liability.
But I'm telling you, a guy that I think they're gonna go after, because Tennessee, they like to get their. They like to get their inside receiver on our safeties. So, they're going to be going after Day Jones, Keon Sabb. And, they're going to run that slot fade. You're going to see them take a lot of chunk plays, and they're going to make a lot of throws to the outside. So we got to be disciplined. We got to be able to, seal the edges on the run, and we got to be able to turn around. They're going to throw a lot of 50-50 ball. We got to be able to get our head turned around and make plays on the ball, because they're going to be there. And I think Dijon Lee, with his length and his ball skills, he's going to be, huge in this game. So the only other that's really the only change I make. But I love what I see from Drake Apache Jr. Ivan Taylor's coming along, Zay Mincy. We have a lot of options, and the younger guys, they tend to seem to fit what Womack's like to do better than the upperclassmen, and so we shall see. We're coming up and going to year 2 of this system, and I think the guys are still getting a little acclimated, but we'll really see what this Kane Womack defense can do once he gets his type, because he completely turned over the linebacker room. We lost a lot of guys, and we recruited a lot of linebackers because they didn't like what we had in the linebacker room. So we got to give them a chance with the guys. He bringing them along. And but we're talking secondary. The only change I definitely would make is putting Dijon Lee in permanently.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Also, maybe seeing some more of Cam Calhoun, but the Money Jackson, he's working his way towards cornerback number 4, at least.
It's time to see it, guys. 3rd week, I'm ready to see it. We got a big one this Saturday, and I feel like the chat has been hopping tonight with some big questions. I do have one question before the chat gets theirs in, though. How are the Lee County massage parlors going to make up for the lost revenue when Freeze gets fired in a couple of weeks? Anybody understand? What are they going to do?
They're not talking about firing him. He just got a recruit today. They're talking about.
Did you hear what the athletic director said on Monday? Oh, I don't have any intentions on firing Freeze, but I also don't have any intentions.
Come up with some scandal.
Of my car not starting when I crank it up every morning, but you never know what happens. There could be one morning when it don't start. Dude, that don't sound like an athletic director that ain't.
Listen, how many coaches are they still paying right now?
Well, I'm pretty sure Bobby's still getting paid. Because
sure.
after banging Yellowwood's daughter, I'm still sure they're paying off that short little bastard. I don't know, Lou, man. That comment I heard from Cohen, I guess yesterday, kind of got my attention. That's not the comment you want to hear from your athletic director.
Look, I agree. You mentioned Yellowwood, and I think some Auburn fans are going to have to start building some decks on their trailers or something, try to up his revenue so he can pour some more money back in the school. Because, it's going to be time to fire old dude before long. Because,
it's coming. Their teams, actually, that thing you sent, Lou, dude, all kind of players are responding to that Alston kid getting the boot. He's lost his team.
Look,
but he'll just get new players. He ain't worried about it. He'll lose the locker room. He'll sign the new freshman class, and screw those guys up for their futures too. You know, it's a resolving cycle that Hugh just messes up young men in today's society.
What I love, I seen, I dove deep Monday looking into some of these things after I seen the team captain was let go and all this other stuff. And I've seen some Auburn chat rooms, and they were like, yeah, Hugh hadn't lived up to his billing, but, you remember the school motto and who we are. And I'm like, y'all sold all that shit out when you hired Hugh Freeze. Don't give me no moral ethic bullshit. You hired a piece of shit to be your head coach because he beat Nick Saban. He fell into beating Nick Saban twice with one of the most loaded rosters you could ever have and couldn't even win the SEC West either year, by the way. And you're the triple agent. You're an Ole Miss guy. I mean, you were there for those years. And yes, he beat Nick Saban, blah, blah, who gives a shit. But at the end of the day, those rosters should have took y'all a lot further than they did.
He choked away SEC champ. He beat Nick Saban. Guess what you do when you beat Nick Saban? You're front runner for the SEC championship. Then he choke it away to Arkansas and Florida. And that's why I think, man, we talk about fits matter. He fits that school perfectly. He's a freaking stand on the side of the road televangelist while he's in a massage parlor. Auburn's we have a prayer circle while we're paying Cam Newton $250, just like everybody damn else. Don't act like you're better. You've been paying off coaches for the affairs they've had for years. Your program's no cleaner than anybody else. You're just as damn dirty as everybody else. Let's talk about Cadillac. Let's talk about all these guys. So quit with your freaking pious ass. Like when you tell all the media when your prayer circle is so they can take pictures so you can show them the Auburn way that you're better, it means you're fake. You're a fake program, and that's why Hugh Freeze fits you perfectly, because you hired a fake-ass coach to run your fake-ass program with all your fake people that say, look at me, I'm in the front row on Sunday when you're in the damn liquor store on Friday. Y'all are a crappy program, and you're getting – look, all this shit, you're getting karma. This is karma. You want to know what karma is? Hugh Freeze is karma. When he makes little girls undress in front of him in high school, or he hires his babysitter and bangs her at Ole Miss, and he does all this shit, and he's tweeting out Bible verses when he leaves massage parlors, and then he gets the NCAA on campus at Ole Miss, and Bible beats them to the point they hammer Ole Miss into submission, and then he gets to go off and say, I'm sorry, and then get hired by Liberty when they're Jerry Clower ass, and then go off to Auburn. So you know what, Auburn, this is what karma looks like, you son of a bitches. This is why Kirby just took it to y'all, and y'all don't get calls in your own stadium anymore, because karma is coming in a big ass fat platter named Hugh Freeze, you dumbasses.
Petty.
It's the greatest rant Petty has ever went on this show, and I've been here for all of them,
and it's not even Auburn week.
And that's the greatest rant he's ever went on.
I'm sorry. This is Tennessee week. Fuck you, Phil. Phil Fulmer, your fat ass ain't walking through the door. T. Martin and your $1,500 checks from Mobile ain't walking through the door.
Y'all
can kiss my ass. You're orange.
We got enough. Whoa, fellas, we got enough hate in our heart to hate both teams the same week. It's fine. I hate Auburn and Tennessee 365. It don't have to be a special week to hate on either one of them. That was a fantastic rant by Petty right there. Man, I'll never forget when you made your profile picture at one point. Hugh coaching from the bed at Liberty. There it is. There it is. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Sorry, I don't know what got in me. It just the ghost got in me. I can't stand any of that piece of shit. And I'm like, Lou, you're all orange, and it all makes me want to vomit. The fans asking questions. Hallelujah. Where's the eggnog? Woo. Oh shit! Sorry, Paul T. Why do you guys think the coaching staff keep putting up Wilkin Formby at right tackle? Dan got his finger up. I'm gonna let him take it.
Hey man, you got to get that half off at Taco Casa.
I was just about to say shit like that.
Because Taco Casa is a Tuscaloosa establishment, baby. They're great.
Listen. If you haven't had a taco in your life, man, you haven't had Taco Casa, man. You're doing yourself a great injustice.
And I don't know if Lou this is a weird thing. So I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, and I moved to Tuscaloosa in high school. I mean, I've had Taco Bell my whole life. If you don't understand, people in Tuscaloosa will beat you with two things. that kickball is actually called kick pin in their weird ass world, and that taco casa is the only taco you can eat. There's no other. It's a better grade of meat than Taco Bell. That's why you go to Taco Casa. It's crazy. Taco Casa and kick pin. It's this weird Tuscaloosa thing that go together, and you can't fight it, so you just let it be.
Now, these ain't the same tacos that Chris James used to talk about at Rose Towers, is it?
That's whoa.
I was just asking, I'm not a fellow Tuscaloosa native, so I wasn't sure.
Joe Edwards, what we need to be worried about coming from the Vols. I don't think Lou can answer this.
One word, nuts.
There you go. Anything, guys? All right. Paul T, do you think some of the players are playing? What do we got to be worried about? Anybody got anything on that? No. All right. Paul T, do you think some of the players are playing not to get hurt or injured, i.e. business decisions? Dan, Luke?
I think so. I think so. That's the issue. But they got to understand, man, you're putting out film for coaches. These NFL scouts, they look at stuff like this. They look at these brain farts. They look at these effort plays, man. Look, so you're really hurting yourself when you're playing not to get hurt. You're actually playing to hurt yourself in the drafts.
When you got guys on that TikTok or whatever the hell platform slowing down the video and showing just how far out of phase you were, you're damn right NFL scouts are seeing it. So that's not a business decision at all. I mean, unless they just don't want to play professional football, which if that's the case, he's doing a great freaking job. But I mean, other than Domani Jackson, I don't think that's the case. Maybe one of our inside linebackers might be playing like that. Maybe one guy.
It's not been not too long ago that we had a center that I accused of being controlled by the mob, and I stand with that. But I've wanted to accuse Jackson of the same thing of trying to not get hurt or injured for a pro career. But Lou said it best. The film don't lie. You're not going in the first round, homie. I mean, there's been nothing put out by you to make anybody go, hey, I got to draft this guy.
Unless he comes out and breaks the 40 record, he ain't going in the first round. But if he comes out and runs like a 4-1 something, yeah, he'll probably go the first round.
He didn't run.
That's
the
only.
I mean, listen. Will any of you guys be hurt if he go ahead and pull a Jamar Chase? Just go ahead and just get ready for the draft. Go ahead. That's your ultimate goal. Go ahead. We'll wish you well.
I would appreciate him more as a player and a person if he would do that right now.
Wait, are we talking about just Domani Jackson? Because I got one more player I want to put on that list.
Put him on there. But that's what, man, if you're making those, it's going to hurt you. Like, I don't get it. Like, you're not making a good business decision. You're making a bad business decision. B. Jamming. Could Mizzou's edge rushing be one of the best? I'm just hoping so instead of Bama's O-line. I think Lou touched on it. I'll let him touch on it more. Van's definitely nodding his head. I know it. Yeah, I think Mizzou's – look, man, got to give them flowers. That anybody would take their two defensive ends.
But Missouri ain't no joke. All right? Like, we done some things that we need to improve on against Missouri. That's a damn good win. That's a good football team we just beat out there. So, and I think they've got multiple good edge rushers. They got multiple good defensive players, period. So, I mean, we've seen some inconsistencies and weaknesses in our O-line at times, and we've pointed out a couple of names tonight. But, guys like that are going to make any damn O-line work for it and struggle. So, I think they had some damn good edge rushers.
Well, with the exception of the two at Texas Tech that are honestly the top week in and week out graded at that position, Missouri has the best two edge rushers in the country. And the fact that they sacked Todd, but they didn't get off on they have other teams. So I think our offensive line is moving in the right directions. And like I said, Tennessee's pass rush is not going to be like Missouri's pass rush. They don't have dominant edge rushers like Missouri does. Most of their pass rush is coming straight from the interior, and they'll stunt that way. Oh, I love this one.
Isaac Thornton, should Dejon Lee get more playing time over Damani Jackson? I think we've kind of answered that throughout the show tonight, but is there any other way?
I think freaking Cam Calhoun should get more playing time than Damani Jackson.
Yes.
That's something that I'm holding in question. How does a guy that graded out in the top 10 of corners in Power 4 football, and he guarded some dudes that are playing on Sundays that are making plays, but all of a sudden he's not getting burned, or he just lost his ability to guard people because he came to the SEC? They got great receivers out there too. So I'm missing something. I got to see him. I got to see Cam Calhoun. Got to do it. This week's it.
There you go. Benjamin, who is y'all's most improved player from last year, and who's y'all's most letdown player from last year? Mine is Proctor improved, and Lawson on letdown. Lawson seems like Henry Toa 2.0.
Don't insult hugging Henry like that. Lawson don't even measure up to hugging people. He's an ankle grabber.
I don't know if you were grabbing ankles or milking cows, but I think he's doing both.
Everybody answer. We'll hot take this one real quick in a circle. Let everybody give their most improved, least improved, or biggest regressor. Dan, who's your most improved and biggest regression?
Who? Most improved, I got to go with Kevin Riley. He I think he started the season at running back number 5 or 6 on the depth chart. To where he is now. So I would put him as my most improved, and he's been a very pleasant surprise. Most disappointing, we've been talking about him all show. That's no doubt is number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Van?
Most improved? I mean, Proctor's a good pick. I think Moonrock I'm kind of with him. Jeremy Bernard was great last year. He's took that much more of an improvement this year. I mean, he is the heart and soul of this offense. And, outside of Ty Simpson, most consistent guy on the offense, game in, game out. And as far as my biggest letdown, take a number. Lawson, Jackson. I mean, we could name a few. We could definitely name a few, but I'll go Lawson.
Blue?
I mean, without beating a dead horse, I'm going to name some different ones. My most improved player from last year. I mean, shoot. If it ain't Ty Simpson, I don't know what we're not talking about, guys.
That's a good point.
I mean, Ty Simpson is my most improved player, without a doubt. I mean, because the dude's up in the top of the Heisman voting right now. He got 16 tutties this year already. Our quarterback last year threw 16 touchdowns for the freaking season. Like, come on.
He's changed his offense.
And as far as the biggest letdown, Lawson wasn't a letdown. I knew Lawson sucked. Some of these other guys you said, I knew they really weren't that good. But a guy that just straight up balled last year, that I thought coming into this year, coming back, he made the decision to come back, was actually going to be about his business. And that's the guy we got from Michigan, Keon Sabb. Like, dude, you were playing lights out the first couple games last season. Then you get hurt, and then you come back, and you're just pitter-pattering along, kind of making plays here and there. So as far as, like, who let me down, I mean, everybody knew Lawson was soft. That's not a letdown. That's just a fact of nature. So to let me down, that means you played good last year. And he played good last year. He ain't playing good this year. So Keon Sabb for me. Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson. Resounding Ty Simpson.
Most improved. It would have to be Damani or Sabb. Those have been probably. I like Sabb as an answer. That dude he's toast. He gets burned a lot over the top.
I'm gonna go Chris James for a second. Because some people need the light shined on them. Another guy who was most improved from last year? Yanze freaking Pierre.
Oh yeah, Pierre's
The
playing really
steps
good
that
right
dude has made from last year to this year. Last year, he
42.
couldn't even stay on the field or on his 2 feet for that matter. This year, he is an impact player. Impact player. Like, that is just head and shoulders. And then this last guy, has finally emerged, and I'm going to give him his flowers because he's making plays and he's in the rotation. Mr. Keon Keeley has been an absolute shadow at the University of Alabama until this season. He has made a breakthrough, and I think the kid discovered something. I think he got that taste in his mouth of wanting to make plays.
Yeah.
And I think that fact that he was actually on the field when it mattered, as opposed to last year, he was playing in a strictly reserve role, maybe. That's improvement.
Let me touch on that with Keon Keeley. Now that you mentioned it, I want to give him his flowers because this is a guy, fans, we've been asking about it. What's going on with Keon Keeley? What's going on with Keon Keeley? Every 5-star doesn't always pan out, but what I love about Keon Keeley, he had plenty of opportunities to leave, to get frustrated, But what I like what I'm saying, he kept his head down, he kept working, and he's being patient. He bought in. He had opportunity to leave. When Nick Saban left, he had opportunity to leave. He had suitors, but this guy, he's kept his head down. He worked. He's been perfecting his craft. He's been getting the little time he's got on the field. He's making plays. So it doesn't always work out. Like I kind of akin that to like what Ty Simpson did. He waited his turn. He's being patient. He's developing. And guys like that, what you call program guys, they always work out in the end. So, his patience and perseverance will pay off tremendously for him. He will be rewarded for it. You're going to see a very good product once he's done.
Hope you're all right, man. Seems like a good kid. Seems to be keep working, sticking with it.
Hey, Dan.
Hop from place to place.
You know who he kind of reminds me of as far as his development and as far as highly tutored as he was? He kind of reminds me of Deshaun Hand.
Oh, yeah.
You know how like Deshaun Hand kind of took a while, but once Deshaun Hand clicked?
Right. Very, very, very much so, yeah. You bring in, he's the guy you bring in the second half and let him eat. You say, go get the quarterback. Go get him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right.
And he'll be that pass rusher that end the quarterback season real quick because they're not expecting, because I want to highlight something. Keon Keeley ain't Keon Keeley no more. Keon Keeley ate Keon Keeley. That boy 285 pounds of straight muscle. So when he hits you, it's that's gonna hurt. Pribula, he did not get up immediately after that hit on Saturday. So if we get some of these interior linemen, scary pass rush next year from the interior. Love it. All right, what we got here?
Where is Cam Calhoun?
That's a good question.
On a milk carton.
He ain't on a milk carton because he ain't on the field. Damani Jackson's on a milk carton.
They got him locked up somewhere because there ain't no reason he should be, getting reps. There ain't no reason.
No, there's not. Maybe did he piss the coach off? It's like, I don't understand. Like, dude, play the dude.
Yeah,
Where's Richard Young? Got a pass pro.
Now that one on the milk cart.
Yeah, I mean, did you not see when he got blown up and sat on his ass? Like,
got a pass pro. Again, you can't make
it. But listen, we might need him this week. He's we're gonna try to establish the run. I like my chances with him.
Do you know who I think actually plays a key role this week? I think Dre Washington's running game is primed to be a thorn in the side of Tennessee because he's a smaller guy and he can bounce off people, and those defensive tackles have a lot of struggles with guys that aren't trying to make impact. When a guy's trying to play in space, those defensive tackles have a hard time.
Latoya Billingsley, what's up, Latoya? Roll Tide, always giving us love in the chat. Why did Auburn player get let go? Has Hugh lost his team?
I don't know if he let go or whether he just quit and said, "Bump it, this is not for me."
That's the question, because man, you hear like
Was he not
all
a team
the responses
captain?
from he was a team captain. He was on the leadership committee at their whatever the hell that is at Auburn. I guess that's whoever sets up Hugh's and job schedule. But he was on the leadership committee. He was a captain, and there's been about 10 different players respond and say, "Oh hell no, we all love this guy. He's he's one of the bright lights in the locker room."
He probably forgot to order Hugh's replacement for the massage oil, and Hugh got pissed off and said, "Hey, bud,
Yeah,
hit the road, Jack."
That's not how it flies here at Hughville.
Hughville.
Hey, just give it time. It'll come to light. Just give it time. It'll come to light.
Keith
DeBoer Austin on the final whistle.
Keith Helkins said, "Boy said F them trees."
Listen, brother, just give him open mic on the final whistle.
Joe Edwards, how do y'all think they need to play? How you all think that they need to play Keon more?
Which one?
Keely.
Keely.
Yeah, I would say in pass rush situations late in the game.
Yeah.
I'm all for bringing guys in fresh later in the game. You see what it did for James Smith. He had one of his best games, only played a half. So when guys can come in late in the game, and use them, I call them closers, and say, "Here, go eat."
2-minute drill.
Yeah.
2-minute drill on defense. I want Keon Keeley because he gonna be something different.
All right. Latoya Billingsley, do you think Ty returns next season?
No, he's gonna be, man. Listen, these NFL scouts will salivate.
Yeah.
Ain't no way unless he get a $10 million deal from Miami.
Dude,
hey, listen, Sean McVay right now.
Way, Ty Simpson is going to be a first-round quarterback draft pick. I mean, he is playing lights out. He's
the best quarterback in college.
He has all the tools, to be, a day one pick at the quarterback position. And no, I don't expect him to return.
I can't remember it. I was watching a show. I can't remember the show where a guy kept saying, if you go back and watch the Wisconsin game from last year, you'll see Alabama's offense run in the fourth quarter like it was supposed to under this Washington. I can't remember who the hell said that, but I'll go back and try to figure it. And when I figure it out, I'll tell y'all who said that. No, Ty's the damn man. Ty's the best quarterback, not just SEC in college football right now. They wanted to make it that Oregon guy. He got his ass kicked by Indiana. No, man, Ty's great. Ty's special. Enjoyed this ride. Ty's the damn field general. And I think the reason we ultimately win Saturday night.
That's the last one I got.
That's the last one.
Unless they ask some more. Hold on. Let me see.
Last time I went on a Hugh Freeze rant like that, I got told by people on internet land from Auburn that actually have 56K hookups down there that my mom should have swallowed me. And that wasn't half the rant this one was, so this ought to be real good. Well, guys, let's give some final love and follows here on this.
Hold on.
You got your hand up.
Somebody, she said she got one more question.
You better you speak now and forever hold your peace.
I'm sorry, who's it?
He said, "What's that poll in your office for, Coach?"
Watch Penn State hiring. They love scum.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. I got it.
Answer this. The offense is way better than last year. So how did we score more points last year? We scored 35 points in 17 minutes at Vandy. This year, only 30, and we won the time of possession.
That's high, methodical.
Yeah.
Methodical.
Well, and
That's how you wanna win.
Vandy had a way better defense this year.
They did.
They had a way better defense this year.
All right.
And we can actually dominate time of possession. We don't have to worry about fireworks scoring.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different offense. You don't have to. Shoot, last year you're scoring 34-5 because you had to catch up to
It's
Vandy's
called
40.
offensive efficiency.
Okay, and the defense had given up 40.
Well, and it's called what you call scheme and strategy. Last year, there was no rhyme or reason why we did anything because you didn't know what Milroe was going to do with the football,
either worked
including Milroe.
Yeah.
Milroe didn't know what Milroe was going to do when he had the football. So, but this year, Grubb's able to we actually have Grubb, which is light years difference. We actually know
Situation.
we have a guy that actually knows, like, hey, you don't want to run this play in this situation, or we need to do this in this situation. So I think it's the mix between having Ryan Grubb, a different quarterback, Vandy having a better defense, and obviously they got better too. Don't want to take anything away from Vandy because I don't hate Vandy. They're not Tennessee. They don't have orange, putrid, stupid colors. They don't have just absolutely dumb checkered overalls that they wear on the third Saturday of October. Vandy's a respectable football team.
Nah, I hate them too.
I mean,
I hate them too. They're not Tennessee, but they're in Tennessee. It's close enough. I don't like them either.
Yeah, but I mean, do you really hate the mosquito that stings you outside? No, you feel bad for the mosquito that stings you.
When I told you I had enough hate in my heart to go around, I wasn't lying, Lou. I don't just save it for a few things. All right.
I do. I save it for one thing. I save all my hatred on the planet for the third Saturday in October.
This week, baby.
I even told everybody that works for me that if you wear orange, you're going home. I don't care. You're going home for the day. I don't want to see that shit. Don't talk to me. Don't come up near. Don't do it. Orange is illegal until Sunday when we puffing cigars. Disrespectfully, of course. Petty, take us out.
Let's do it. Only one way to go, guys. Give us let's go around. Tell us how to do the follows and all that good stuff, because I know Lou's got some stuff brewing on this weekend again. So let's do the follows and send offs, and then we will send this out. The only way you can send it out before the third Saturday in October when that Tide kicks that ball ass. So Dan, how can we find you? All that good stuff.
You can find me on X at the Final Whistle Dan, Facebook Dan James IV. You can catch me right here every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. The Final Whistle with my Avengers. We're gonna get the band back together, before the season out. We got to do like a Final Whistle homecoming celebration. You know what I'm saying? Get everybody back. We ought to put that up. But right here, y'all. I thank y'all. How many did we have in the chat?
Man, we bumped tonight, man.
Yeah, so y'all hit that like and subscribe. We appreciate y'all taking time out to spend time with us, normal guys. And shout out to everyone, Latoya, Bob, Keith, Joe Edwards, appreciate it. Moon, good to see you. Glad to have you back. Appreciate you guys, and y'all be sure to tune in next week.
Like I said, tune in next week when we're celebrating this victory. Van, what mean streets can they find you on?
Cigars.
Well, you might actually catch me being an animal rights activist this week, going up to Knoxville to save the mule that they use for both driver's ed and sex ed up there at Knoxville. They're wearing that poor bastard out. So I'm going to go up there and try to help him out, and then I heard that button fly jeans were invented in Knoxville so the sheep couldn't hear them when they unzipped. Other than that, you can catch me hating the hell out of Tennessee, still hating Auburn. I'll save it. I do it every day. And you can catch me here on Tuesday nights with my fellas talking Alabama football.
Perfect. Lou, my man.
Well, before we get into the fun stuff, I'm going to pump something. On Saturday morning, before we get into all the action, we got the Saturday AM Scramble as we're going to go through all the top 25 action, recap last week and all the crazy shit that happened. It's a great show. I got some interesting panelists from around the country. They give different perspectives. It's a fun 2 hours. Come hang out because it's all about football. And yes, we are going to roll heavy tide on that one. And as usual, after the freaking game and we puff and smoke, join us for the post-game show, the Ivory Room, as we recap the game that Alabama took care of business against Tennessee. And me, well, you can find me on X at 4RowLoose1, Facebook and Instagram, Lucian Graves. On Tuesday nights, you know where to find me. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern with these Avengers. And hopefully we do get the crew back together so we can have a roundtable meeting. But this week, you can catch me hating from the mountain tops. All pun intended. F Tennessee. And roll daggum motherfucking tide.
I'm your captain. I'm Daniel Petty, and I sure as hell can't back that up. But I'm with him. Screw the Vols. Roll Tide. You can catch me at Daniel_Petty, Petty_Daniel, one of them on X. Gotta get that crap back. We're just rolling under there. Buy me on that. I'm here every Tuesday night with the Avengers talking Alabama football, and I'll be looking forward to talking it again next week after we whip that ball ass. So only one way to end on this week, guys. Let's go. Roll motherfucking Tide.
Roll damn
motherfucking tide. And we don't give a piss about anything but this Crimson Tide.